This is a Hot Pie Original.
All right, I'm going to dump this on you. Business geniuses, go to work. Get out your Big Chief tablet, number 2 pencil. It's time to sit in the lecture hall. You got to go to work. Business students, you've been given life. Fix it. Make it better. Make it more marketable. Go to work, kids. The LuAnn platter lives on. It's going to be with us. You've got to make it marketable, kids. How are you going to make this business work? I thought it was dead. Thought it was dead 25 years ago, but we thought it was dead a year ago. But the LuAnn platter is back. It's back. And it's going to be back, and it's going to be bigger than ever because you're going to fix it. You're going to make this place so marketable again. Kids of all ages, including the old guy sitting by himself every day by that picture in the corner with the horses above him at 5:30. He's going to be back. Families are coming back. Hipsters are coming back. Cocktails, cigarettes. This place is going to be happening again. You're going to put a disco ball in there. You've got to get it on its feet. Make it marketable, kids. Go to work, students. The LuAnn platter, if you don't know the LuAnn platter, you're hopeless. But there's good news for you because you, for the first time in your life, you get to experience, it's the coolest thing you could ever do. Stand in line to get your food. Nothing better. Heat lamps, Jell-O, big trays, pictures of horses going through fields, green chairs. The receipt. The receipt. That receipt wrapped around your glass of tea that's about 4 inches high. And more Jell-O. Lots of Jell-O. You haven't had enough Jell-O. Jell-O is the ticket, kids. Jell-O is the way to bring this thing back. You've got to sell more Jell-O. But when you get that ticket, do not freaking lose it. Otherwise, you're about to be arrested. Cash registers got that circular thing, ding, ding, change comes out. So, I don't know. What are we going to do? How are we going to make it marketable again? It's been given a lifeline. It's post-pandemic. Here we get to come. Do we go retro? Do we just go all the way in? We're going to have cash registers, old ladies with the hats, hairnets, more Jell-O? Or do we try to spruce the place up? What do you want to do? Margaritas? New art? You want to get rid of the pictures of the horses running through the fields? The boats in the water with some flowers? The tables that are incredibly small where only one very lonely old person can sit? At 5:30 in the afternoon when you're a kid and you look over and say, can somebody not sit with that poor old guy? Because you can't sit with him because the table's so tiny, he can barely get his tray and Jell-O on there. Do we get rid of or we keep the cash register with the circular thing that has the change come all the way out? I was fascinated by that when I was a kid. What are we going to do? Business people, go to work. Well, there's great news, America. There's great news, people of Texas. Luby's has found a buyer for majority of its business, keeping the company alive. As recent as February 2021, it was reported that Luby's would cease most operations by the end of the fiscal year. It adopted a plan of, quote, liquidation and dissolution. So if you thought you were going to get some of those paintings of the horses running through the fields, you're out of luck. They're back on the wall. You thought you'd get some of those green fabric chairs? Nope. You thought you might get thousands of tiny little white plates? No. Going back out. It's time to open the doors again. Maybe some new music. Remember the music there? Feel like a funeral home. It's announced that Luby's Inc. has entered into an agreement to sell the Luby's cafeteria restaurant business to a newly formed affiliate belonging to Calvin Gin. I thought when I first read this, they're going to sell gin? Oh, boy. Yeah, I guess. Hey, I'm here with John McClellan, the creator and founder of ATX Hot Sauce. And when I say that you started this, maybe not screwing around in your kitchen, but maybe not that far removed from screwing around in your kitchen. So talk about the creation, the process, the dream that came out of the pandemic.
It's from Austin. from Texas. There's not a lot of hot sauces out there that are actually from here. There's a few great ones too, but Frank's and Tabasco and some of these other ones, I want something that's Texan like me. It's different. And I think that's what Texas is a little bit about. That's what Austin's about. So that flavor first without the vinegar, and then going into the heat after that, but not a blow your head off heat. If you notice, a lot of the hot sauces out there that you see are like Da Bomb or Death's Door, right? Yeah. And they're just supposed to blow your head off when you do it, when you taste it. Well, that's not the kind of hot sauce that I'm making. I'm making a hot sauce for the everyday person, for the condiment for every single day. And that's why the flavor first, heat second is so important, that you get those flavors that nuances whatever food that you're making.
All right, order a box now. It's atxhotsauce.com, atxhotsauce.com. Not necessarily. Jin's family established the Flying Food Group by Sue Jin, now the third largest airline catering company in North America. Look, let's not eat airline food, okay? Let's don't do that. Here goes Ron Burgundy to tell you all about how Luby's lives on.
Well, it looks like the Luby's restaurants have found a buyer for a majority of its business.
Can we all cheer right now? How about that? The business will be handed over to a newly formed affiliate belonging to a company called Calvin Gin. And that means Luby's can stay alive and continue to serve you that LuAnn platter. Yippee!
Oh, there's a yippee from Ron Burgundy. Wow, was that a yippee? Huh. Did I hear a yippee? The deal will include acquisition of 32 Luby's restaurants. Gosh, I don't remember. How many did we used to have? I remember Marymount Cafe. That one went well, that cafeteria. There used to be quite a few of these. But the rolls, those big, giant, puffy rolls. Low calorie, of course. They would sit on those lots of white plates. So here are the stores that are going to survive. Luby's, of course, goes back to 1947 when the first restaurant opened in San Antonio. Oh, just looking at this list. Austin, East Anderson Lane, alive. Headed over there tomorrow, 5:30 for dinner. Beaumont. Oh. Being in Beaumont sucks, period. Eating a Luby's in Beaumont might be the bottom of the barrel. That might be the loneliest thing I can think of. Brownsville, Conroe, Corpus, Dallas, they're all alive. You can travel the entire state going to 32 different Luby's. So now the big test is, if it went belly up before, what can you do? I taught a class for a long, long time where we would get these case studies. We'd have all this, data on the business, how it failed, how the business didn't work, the strategies that didn't work in the past. I'd love to read this one. Wait, you mean people don't want to stand in line for 45 minutes for food? Oh, okay. So now somebody's got this. You acquire this place. You want to open or reopen 32 restaurants. So now you've got this case study sitting there on your desk. What do we do to fix it? How do we make it marketable again? There you go, kids. Have at it. What do you sell? How do you sell it? What do you keep on the menu? I know this much, and I don't know anything about running the restaurant business, and I don't know the data behind this. But the first thing I would suggest, maybe you disagree, I think we need to get rid of that ticket thing where you got to keep that piece of paper or else you get shot in the legs. Is there any worse moment in your life than when you lose that receipt? Right? So you go through the line, you get your 5 plates of Jell-O, you get the LuAnn platter, you get tiny, tiny little soft drink, right? In those little bitty glasses. And because they come around and, the lady with a cart, he comes around with a cart and then refills your glass. A giant cart. I used to be amazed as a child. Like, that thing is so big with so many drinks on it. Look, there's orange juice, milk, tea, lots of tea, sweet tea. So she would come around and refill your glass. But it's always seemed like a really bad, I didn't know what the alternative would be, but I studied meticulously how good of an idea was it to take the receipt and then stick it on your glass, it was wet, and then you carry that receipt up to the front to pay. It just seemed like a little, It seemed like overhead was a little too high to have two people handle the receipt transaction. So I don't know, could be wrong. Maybe we should stop that process, because you would go to the front, and if you didn't have your receipt, remember, you would talk to the cash register person, and then they would be bent out of shape. And so they'd have to call over the manager, and they would have you stand to the side to talk to you about what you had. What did you have? I don't know, man. I had a lot of Jell-O. Can I leave? Where's your receipt? I don't have it. I don't have it. And you get on this light, because there's a lot of lights in there. Feels like you're under a heat lamp the entire time you're there. If we could do anything, let's maybe leave everything else as is, including the art, the tables, the green chairs, the tiny, tiny little table for the really old people who are lonely. But I think I think we got to stop the receipts. I think that one is probably, I know she doesn't want to lose her job. I know that lady behind that gigantic cash register. You can hardly see her. She can stick her head out above this cash register. And she's way up there, like she's Oz or something. I just think that's a little too much overhead. So maybe, I know it's new, I know it's different. Maybe we can try to swipe the card.